the mysteries surrounding pirates? Those enigmatic figures who sailed the high seas, leaving behind a legacy of adventure and intrigue. Pirates were known for their insatiable thirst for treasure, often depicted in tales of buried chests and hidden riches. But what drove these swashbuckling outlaws to a life of piracy? Many pirates were former sailors who turned to piracy due to harsh conditions aboard merchant ships. They sought freedom and a chance to escape the oppressive rule of the crown. Pirates were notorious for their daring raids and fierce battles on the open seas. They would often target merchant vessels, seeking valuable cargo and plundering everything in their path. Check out this fascinating video that delves into the world of infamous pirates who wreaked havoc on the seven seas and accumulated immense wealth from the 16th to the 19th centuries. Unlike the friendly portrayals in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, these historical pirates were a different breed altogether. Many of them started as privateers, authorized to attack enemy ships and disrupt trade routes. However, some couldn't resist the allure of gold and turned against their own nation's vessels. These pirates became so feared that they amassed fortunes equivalent to millions of dollars in today's currency. Prepare to discover the true stories behind the most notorious pirates in history. Before we dive into today's topic, I just wanted to kindly ask for your support. If you enjoy my content, I would really appreciate it if you could give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and share my videos. It means the world to me. Alright, now let's get into the juicy stuff. Francis Drake was regarded as a noble figure by some, while others saw him as an outlaw pirate. Born in Devon, England, around 1540, Drake achieved the remarkable feat of being the first Englishman to sail around the world, as reported by the BBC. However, this accomplishment was not a deliberate exploration, but rather a consequence of his mission to plunder Spanish ships in the Americas. From an English perspective, Drake's actions were justified since the Spanish had laid claim to the entire New World and the English sought to establish their presence. Conversely, the Spanish viewed Drake as a menacing pirate and bestowed upon him the nickname, El Drac, meaning the dragon, as noted by an associate professor of maritime and naval history at the University of Plymouth in England. He played a significant role as the naval commander in the battle against the Spanish Armada, a massive fleet of Spanish ships that attempted to invade England and overthrow the Queen in 1588. However, Drake's legacy is complicated by his involvement in the slave trade, together with his cousin and fellow naval commander John Hawkins. He played a part in initiating the English slave trade in Africa. Drake's life came to end when he succumbed to dysentery off the coast of Panama in 1596. Henry Morgan, a well-known figure among rum enthusiasts, is often recognized by his portrait adorning the front of Captain Morgan rum bottles. Born in Wales around 1635, Morgan ventured to the Caribbean in 1655 as a laborer. After completing his contracted work in Barbados, he sought his fortunes in Jamaica and swiftly transitioned into a life of piracy, as documented by the Dictionary of Welsh Biography. In 1665, Morgan married his cousin Elizabeth Morgan, who happened to be the daughter of Jamaica's deputy governor. By 1666, he had assumed command of his own ship as a privateer. Morgan proved himself both on land and at sea, raiding towns along the coasts of Mexico, Panama and Cuba, as reported by BBC Wales. His plunder included valuable treasures such as gold, silver, and gems, and he also engaged in the capture and sale of enslaved individuals. Astonishingly, despite being imprisoned for his exploits just a few years prior, Morgan seems to have been knighted by King Charles II of England in 1674, as noted by the Dictionary of Welsh Biography. This serves as a testament to the rapid fluctuations in fortune experienced by pirates and privateers during the golden age of piracy. In 1688, Henry Morgan passed away from natural causes. At the time of his death, he possessed 3 plantations and his Jamaican estate housed 131 enslaved individuals, including 33 young boys, girls and children, as recorded in the Legacies of British Slavery database at University College London. William Kidd, also known as Captain Kidd, gained notoriety for straddling the ambiguous line between privateer and pirate. Born in Scotland around 1645, Kidd was enlisted as a privateer by the British government in 1689 and was even given the task of apprehending pirates. However, he met his ultimate fate when he was hanged for both murder and piracy, as stated by Britannica. One of Kidd's most renowned exploits occurred in 1698, when he successfully seized a merchant vessel called the Quebec Merchant off the western coast of India. This ship contained a wealth of treasures including gold, silver, valuable silks, satins, and various Indian goods. Upon discovering that he had been labeled a pirate, Kidd abandoned the ship in the Caribbean in 1699 and made his way to New York in an attempt to clear his name. Unfortunately, he was apprehended and subsequently captured. The remains of the Quebec merchant were only unearthed in 2007. Historians hold differing opinions regarding Kidd's actual involvement in piracy. Nevertheless, he faced execution in London in 1701. As a deterrent to potential pirates, authorities displayed his lifeless body in a metal cage in the River Thames for 3 consecutive high tides, according to Thurrock Council. And Bonny, also known as Bonny, born in Ireland in 1698 to a plantation owner, Bonny later relocated to South Carolina. As recorded by the Royal Museum's Greenwich, she abandoned her previous life and ventured into the Caribbean during the early 1700s, embarking on a life of piracy. Under the guise of a man, Bonny took to the high seas on Calico Jack Rackham's ship, who himself was a former buccaneer that had been granted a pardon. Bonny did not engage in piracy alone. She had a partner named Mary Read, who was also a member of Rackham's crew. Read, who was born in London, disguised herself as a man. Initially, she was working on a different ship when it was seized by Rackham. Consequently, she decided to join Rackham's crew. Bonny and Read formed a close friendship and together they plundered the high seas. They both dressed in jackets and long trousers, and were skilled in combat, wielding a machete in one hand and a pistol in the other. A victim who fell prey to their piracy testified that they were highly active on the ship and were willing to do anything. In 1720, Rackham's ship and crew were captured near Jamaica and brought to trial. However, Bonny and Read managed to escape the gallows due to their pregnancies. Read passed away in prison due to a fever, while Bonny survived. Her father intervened and secured her release from prison, taking her back to South Carolina, where she resided until the age of 84. Samuel Bellamy, born in Devon in the late 17th century, he embarked on a career at sea during the War of the Spanish Succession, at the tender age of 13. Eventually, he rose to become a notorious pirate captain, as documented by the New England Historical Society. He successfully seized 53 ships, among them the Witta Galley, a slave ship carrying a valuable cargo of gold, silver, and other goods. Departing from England in 1716, the Witta Galley transported 312 enslaved individuals from the west coast of Africa to Jamaica. Bellamy intercepted the ship on its return journey to England, after it had been emptied of slaves and filled with profits, as detailed by the Field Museum in Chicago. In 1717, Bellamy designated the Witta Galley as his flagship, but tragically, he perished along with it in a storm that same year. Known as Black Sam Bellamy, he earned his nickname due to his preference for black wigs adorned with a black bow. Additionally, Bellamy portrayed himself as the Robin Hood of the sea, targeting the wealthy in his acts of piracy. According to the New England Historical Society, he ran his ship in a democratic manner, treating his crew members as equals and sparing the lives of captives. Bartholomew Roberts, also known as Black Bart, was an 18th century pirate hailing from Wales. He was known for his tall stature, handsome appearance, and flamboyant attire. Initially, Roberts worked on merchant ships but eventually turned to piracy. He swiftly rose to the position of captain, commanding his own ship and crew, as stated by the Royal Museum's Greenwich in London. Throughout his life, Roberts seized over 400 ships, operating in the Caribbean and off the African coast. Notably, he targeted slave ships and demanded gold from their captains in exchange for the release of the enslaved individuals. In one instance, when a captain refused to comply, Roberts allegedly set fire to the ship, resulting in the tragic loss of 80 enslaved people, according to the World History Encyclopedia. In 1722, Black Bart's piracy endeavors came to a halt, when he was killed by the British Navy near the coast of Gabon in West Central Africa. Interestingly, his crew members were too intoxicated to defend the ship during the encounter. Following this event, a significant pirate trial took place, leading to the hanging of 52 members of Roberts' crew. This trial is recognized as the largest pirate trial ever conducted, as documented by the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C. Charles Vane remains an enigmatic figure during the golden age of piracy. Despite the lack of concrete information regarding his birthplace and date, historical records depict him as a daring and merciless pirate. The Oxford Dictionary of National Biography reveals that Vane's earliest recorded activities took place in the early 18th century, where he targeted Spanish ships salvaging silver from a sunken Spanish fleet in the Gulf of Florida. His audacity did not stop there, as he continued to raid and assault various vessels on the open seas. One notable incident involved Vane's ingenious escape from the clutches of the British Navy. When cornered, he resorted to a drastic measure by setting his flagship vessel ablaze and directing it towards the British fleet. The ensuing chaos and distraction allowed Vane to elude capture, as documented by the National Archives in London. However, Vane's command over his pirate ships was eventually revoked by his crew, leaving him stranded on a deserted Caribbean island after a storm destroyed his sole remaining vessel. Although he was eventually rescued, his identity was soon discovered, leading to his execution by hanging in Jamaica in 1721 for his criminal activities. Ching XI, also known as Ching XI or Ching XI, was an incredibly successful pirate who made history. She was born into poverty as Xi'an in Guangzhou, China, during the late 18th century. Initially, she worked as a sex worker until she married a pirate named Ching I in 1801. After their marriage, she adopted the name Ching XI, which meant the wife of Ching. This information is based on a case study conducted by the University of Oxford. Together, Ching XI and Ching I united various pirate gangs in the region, forming a powerful confederation. Unfortunately, Ching I passed away in 1807, leaving Xi to take sole control of the pirate confederation. According to the research, she managed to maintain control over the pirates by forming strategic alliances and implementing a strict code of laws. This code was incredibly harsh, with immediate decapitation as the punishment for anyone who dared to give commands independently or disobey their superiors. During her peak, she, also known as the Pirate Queen, commanded an impressive fleet of 1,200 ships, crewed by approximately 70,000 pirates. However, in 1810, she decided to dissolve the Confederation and negotiate a favorable surrender agreement with the Chinese government. I wrap up my discussion for now, but don't worry, there's more exciting content coming your way. Join me in my next video as I delve into new topics and explore fascinating subjects. Until then, thank you for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye for now. We delve into the depths of extensive research and invest a significant amount of time to bring you valuable information. Our relentless dedication and hard work are aimed at delivering a high-quality outcome. We kindly request your support in our journey by liking, subscribing, and sharing our content. Your encouragement fuels our motivation to continue producing informative videos. Join us in our pursuit of knowledge and help us make a difference. Thank you for your support.